A few months back, I did a top 10 classics figures list. One particular mold was not on it, specifically Grimlock. It's not that I don't like the figure, it's okay. I just felt it wasn't exactly a great representation of the king. However, as a special edition universe release, we got a redeco of classics Grimlock in the form of Overkill. Now, the original G1 Overkill has always been a favorite of mine. He and his card mate Slugfest were actually my first ever cassette figures, so you can blame them for the obsession. Overkill is one of the criminally neglected cassette bots. Arguably, Slugfest has gotten even less attention, though I did find this fantastic plush Slugfest on Etsy a while back. Shout out to Mythfit Creations. So, when this new Overkill figure was released back in the day, I jumped at the chance for a new version of the character. This iteration of Overkill is a straight-up repaint of Grimlock, and I'm okay with that. It would have been nice to see some remolding to the beast head to make him more like the original. As I have been informed, he's not a T-Rex, but actually a Ceratosaur. But this less horny Overkill is still a fantastic-looking dino in his beast mode. I love the colors on this guy. The white and blue look fantastic together, and really help the design stand out compared to the original version's gray. He is also sporting some fantastic silver highlights and yellow eyes. The beast mode is reasonably posable, with an articulated tail for thrashing about, and a decent amount of leg articulation to allow for some menacing manipulation. This is mainly due to the legs becoming the robot arms later, but it's really a welcome thing to have, as too often with beast modes the legs are static, and the alt mode is rendered extremely limited in the posability department. Now, some might find it silly to mount the weapon on his back, but honestly, I think it looks great. A huge useless blade sticking out of his beast back, welded to a hair trigger missile launcher, is honestly perfect for a guy like Overkill. Real Dino Rider vibes from this dude. It would have been nice to see some silver missile pods attached to his hips, but that probably would have been asking too much from our Hasbro overlords in 2008. Transformation is actually pretty clever for what it is. This is where a lot of fans started to probably get turned off from this design as a Grimlock toy, because it's a pretty big departure from Grimlock. But as an Overkill figure, I think it's pretty great. See, there's no point of reference for this guy's transformation, seeing as the original turned into a cassette. So really, the creative license has no limitation. In robot mode, Overkill, well, I don't hate it. It's hard to look past the Grimlockiness of it, but when you do, you start to appreciate the effort that was put in here. A new head would have done wonders, but it is still pretty cool. And while I didn't mind the lighter colors in beast mode, in robot mode it doesn't work quite as well. A darker blue would have been much more effective, but overall, this is a pretty neat effort for a representation of Overkill. For the most part, it poses pretty well, able to achieve some pretty impressive feats. But speaking of, even though having the dino head become his feet is an interesting idea, it does lead to some awkward stability issues. His weapons are a lot of fun in this mode, sporting his missile launcher with that giant blade in one hand, and his beast tail becoming a very lethal looking pool noodle for the other. Overall, Overkill is a success in my mind, and I still to this day don't understand why we don't get more Grimlocks repainted into the character. We saw a brief reference to him in Titan's Return as Overboard, but that's hardly enough in my book. Throw a horn on Studio Series Grimlock, give him some hit missiles, and I'll buy it, Hasbro! While you're at it, give me a green version of Snarl as Slugfest, and a blue version of Sludge as Zoru, and a red Swoop as Garafi. Seriously, just give me more freaking cassette characters. Did you like that video? Please subscribe. What are you doing? You're too polite. I just thought, subscribe or face my fury. Scourge, you're an Autobot. Oh, bite me.